Welcome, everybody, to the 2023 Women's NCAA Gymnastics Championships. You are hearing me, and my name is John Roethlisberger. I'm part of the 4-member stream team here on ESPN+, and we're going to bring you every single routine of this NCAA Championships. We are in Dickies Arena. We have a good crowd. Not completely filled, but I tell you what, NCAA gymnastics crowds are loud, and this arena right now has got the energy. This process started with 36 teams into the regional round of competition. It is now down to 8. We have 2 semifinals. This is the first of 2. 4 teams in each semifinal. The top 2 teams from each semifinal will compete for a national championship Saturday afternoon here in Fort Worth. And what a ride it has been to get to this point. So close getting through the regional championships. We had a tiebreaker to get into the NCAA semifinals. It has been razor thin, and we expect the exact same thing here today and on Saturday. So buckle up, people. This has been an amazing year of gymnastics. Around the gym, we have the Cal Bears. If you're listening to me right now, we are going to be covering floor exercise, and that is where the Cal Bears will start. LSU, they will be on the balance beam. And, yeah, we are having a good time up here. Hey, Kennedy, you're on TV right now. LSU will be on the balance beam. Florida on the uneven bars. And vault will be where Denver will start the competition. Starting off for Cal on floor, this is Nevaeh D'Souza. Cal actually had the top score out of all the regional qualifying teams, the teams that made it to the NCAA semifinals, which is today. Cal actually had the highest score out of all of those teams, not what most would have expected, but they have been methodical this year. They have continued to get better as the season went along. Nevaeh D'Souza, a senior from Fairfield, California. Beautiful start. Rudy to lay out, step out. Nevaeh, one of the important leaders of this Cal Bear team, a veteran on the squad. Leadership's so important, especially when you get late in the season, keeping the team focused, keeping the team calm, and she's a big part of that. The Cal coaches told us before this meet, their brand is artistic and clean, and nobody embodies that better than Nevaeh D'Souza. What a start. So critical, too, to get out of the gate with some good scores. Those first scores up, and this is one thing to keep an eye on throughout this NCAA championship if you're watching from home. All these teams have got some big guns at the end of their lineups. The 4th, 5th, and 6th gymnasts to go. Almost all of those athletes can put up the 9.95s or get even the 10.0s. The difference between the teams that advance and certainly the teams that win oftentimes are going to be the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd gymnasts. They might not be the stars on the team, but those first 3 routines absolutely can be difference makers. The teams that can start with 9.85s or higher, certainly a 9.9 is a huge advantage. So watch these scores early and see how the Cal Bears come out of the gate. That one absolutely should be good. I'd be shocked if it's not in the mid 9.8s. She has a high of a 9.9 this season, does Nevaeh D'Souza. Had a chance to talk with her a little bit yesterday. Great personality, just a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of belief in this Cal Bear team. Gabby Perea will be the 2nd gymnast to go. I talked to John Carney, the assistant coach from the Cal Bear team when they were warming up today, and I said, how are they feeling? And he said, great. The bus ride was like a dance party on the way over, having a good time. They were loose. I watched them warm up floor as well before the competition, and they really had what I think great teams have. And they looked comfortable, and they looked loose but focused. They weren't taking it too lightly. They weren't being too silly and wild, but they had that game face on, but it wasn't a nervous look. It was a confident look. And that's what you want to see as a coach, certainly. Or a fan of the Cal Bears, which if you're listening to me right now, probably means you're a fan of the Cal Bears. I'll try to update you too as much as I can around the gym. There's a lot going on, 4 events simultaneously. Denver on vault starts with a 9.85 and a 9.7875 for their first 2 vaulters. The score for Nevaeh D'Souza, 9.8375. The reason you're seeing more decimal places on the scores here at the NCAA Championships is because there are 6 judges. There was 4 in the regional rounds, 2 during the regular season, but 6 sets of eyes watching these athletes. This is junior Gabby Perea. Big bounce backwards out of that double back on that opening pass. At least a 1/10 of a point there. Gabby from Legacy Elite was the gymnastic club she attended. Was a 3-time national team member as an elite. Wow, a little short on that 1.5 twist into the front layout, but savvy in the air, keeps the clean landing. That could have been a major problem there. So good routine, the mount, the double back to open, that big hop backwards, could maybe be even more than a 1/10 of a point. And again, Nevaeh D'Souza opened up with a 9.8375. LSU starting on balance beam, they started with Elena Arenas, a 9.7375. Sloan Blakely on bars, a 9.2375. So an early air from the Florida Gators, if you're wondering what's going on. And I will tell you, if you heard some action in the background here, it's because one of the favorites in all of women's NCAA gymnastics, Lindsey Brown, just stuck a Yurchenko 1.5. Next to go on the floor exercise will be the silent ninja, as I am told by her coaches, Maddie Williams. Maddie is a sophomore out of Vacaville, California. She's also a former elite, also a junior Olympic national team member. Has a high score this season of a 9.925 on floor exercise. One thing that her coaches have really tried to get her to do is show a little more personality when she performs, and that's something that she's done better throughout the season. But one thing they say about her is she works. She'll get up and do a perfect routine and come down and find a reason to do another one. She is a worker and a true example for the rest of her team. She's ranked number 18 in the country after the regular season in the all-around, has a high there of a 39.625. Gabby Perea, by the way, a 9.7625. So scores dipped a little. You do not want to count scores in the 9.7s. If you're any of the 8 teams competing today, scores in the 9.7s are not what you want to count. They can drop the low score. The top 5 scores out of the 6 athletes will count towards the team score. perfect. Well done. 3 hits for the Cal Bears to start off this first rotation on floor exercise. They've got some big routines coming here on the second half of their lineup. So again, important to get some hits. The idea is to start and let the scores build until you get to those last 3, certainly the last 2 gymnasts to put up those huge numbers. We will see what Maddie Williams gets for that floor routine. So 3 yet to go. Andy Lee, Maya Lazan, and MJ Frazier, the star freshman, will be in the anchor position. Gabby Perea, 9.7625. Again, the score they'll want to drop. Only 2 scores in so far. The head coaches for the Cal Bears, Justin Howell and Elizabeth Crandall Howell, co-head coaches. Liz is the choreographer for all of these floor routines, an elite gymnast herself when she competed. Also an elite level judge, which is a huge asset for that program, to have that judging eye along with what is described as a brilliant technical coach. Denver is done on vault. Their low score in the rotation that they will have to count is a 9.7875 from Bella Mavanta. Lindsey Brown got a 9.925 for her. Yurchenko 1.5. So good start to the meet for Denver. I talked to one of the Denver coaches. Not that we want to talk about the other event, but he said, doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And that is the same for the Cal Bears here on floor exercise. As now we see Andy Lee from Aurora, Illinois, also from Legacy Elite, same gym as Gabby Perea, and she follows Maddie Williams, 9.85. Looking for some 9.9s here to finish out. Beautiful front double twist. She made it look easy, but that is a very difficult pass.
Can you hear me? Is my mic good? Hello, testing.
That voice you just heard is Kennedy Baker. I'd like to welcome Kennedy over to the floor exercise.
So excited to be here, John.
Kennedy just got done covering the vault rotation for the stream team. We're finishing up with Andy Lee on floor exercise. The fourth gymnast to go here, Kennedy. And I know there's some fireworks over at vault. We're very happy to have you over here. Kennedy, for those of you that don't know, but most of you probably do, a Florida Gator gymnast from 2015 to 2018. Remember the 2015 national title team, so you know what this vibe is all about.
I am a big floor fan, especially from this Cal team. They have really unique choreography, which is really eye-catching, and I'm excited to see what they do in this nationals rotation.
So far on floor for Cal, 9.8375 from Nevaeh D'Souza. Perea in the second spot, 9.7625. Maddie Williams, 9.85. So we're waiting for Andy Lee's score. Maya Lazan will be the next gymnast. Give us just a little insight. You've been on the floor. You know the intensity of a national championship. You were part of a team that won it. Put into words what some of these athletes might be experiencing right now.
Yeah, it's a high-pressure environment, John. There's a lot at stake, but again, they've been training all season for this. This is their moment to shine, building up in the regular season, getting those routines under their belt so they're ready to handle the pressure of nationals.
And every routine, we hear this from all the coaches throughout our interviews with them, every 10th matters. And it seems like it's kind of a boring mantra. You hear it and you almost become tone deaf to it a little bit, but it's so true, and it's never been more true than this year and how close these meets have been.
Especially this year. Everyone has been sticking those landings, dialing it in. We've seen meets come down to near tenths, so they really have to zoom in on these landings.
This is Maya Lazan getting ready to go. Two-time junior national team member, Nastia Liukin Cup finalist, ranked 12th in the country on this event, and has a high this season of a 9.975. Andy Lee a 9.875. So no scores yet above 9.9 for Cal. Going to really want a couple here to finish this rotation out.
Well, these last two competitors, Maya Lazan and MJ Frazier, both super dynamic. They could bring up some big scores for this team. Beautiful opening tumbling pass. Front double through to front tuck, stuck. Executed so well. Selling her choreo, I love it. Beautiful. 1.5 front full, stuck, and stunning.
Clean landings, beautiful choreography, as you mentioned, Kennedy, and that should be the high score so far in this rotation for the Cal Bears.
And she set MJ up really, really well. MJ's just going to build off of that energy, go out with a super dynamic floor routine, and if she does a great job, get a great score.
They had some shirts on when they came in, did the Cal Bears, and I'm looking for the exact quote. It said, "One day better together," and that has really been who they are this season, is just continuing to build. I saw them the first weekend of the season in Vegas, and I thought to myself, that team is going to be at the NCAA championships, and here they are. And they remind me a little bit, I told Justin Howell this before the competition, I go, you guys remind me a little bit of Oklahoma. They kind of have that similar gymnastics, very professional, very focused. They have a great time, but they're also business-like in their approach, and they work extremely hard.
Absolutely, yeah. When we were talking to head coach Justin Howell, he was talking about how Cal is a hard school. It's not easy academically, it's not easy athletically. So these athletes come in and they just explode. And this year, I think that they have done a fabulous job of building their team up to set themselves up to be in a great position for nationals. And we can see that now.
So MJ Frazier will be the last gymnast to go. She is described as a force to be reckoned with, and I had a chance to talk with her a little bit yesterday. Such an awesome personality, so outgoing, just a freshman too, and just exudes confidence of an upperclassman. And you're going to see some tumbling, especially this first pass, maybe the toughest pass being done by any gymnast in this competition. Big time double layout here to open.
It's insane how high she flies on this double layout. Woo.
Awesome.
And she's so poised out there. You would not think she's a freshman. You would think she's honestly a senior. The way she carries herself, her confidence. But that's what you need in college gymnastics.
And she's got that elite pedigree in her background, but she came in and the coaches have said she's got an arsenal of skills. And kind of the hardest part is to figure out what of her whole repertoire you're going to put in, because it becomes quality over quantity here at the NCAA level. And so she's got a lot more she can do, but what she does out here on the floor, she does as well as anyone.
Front through to double tuck. Nice control out of that. Great height.
Only a freshman and has made an impact on college gymnastics immediately. MJ Frazier, what an exclamation point for this rotation for the Cal Bears. Maya Lazan right before her, a 9.9375. So indeed, she does put up the highest score so far of this rotation. And with that MJ Frazier floor routine, Kennedy, it looks like they will be able to drop that 9.7625.
MJ's routine was so great, and they're going to look to use that energy for the rest of the competition, especially leading them over to the vault.
MJ, number 8 in the country on floor exercise, does have a 10 already in her career on that event. Just so you know, around the gym, LSU just finished up on the balance beam, had a great rotation, started with a couple of 9.7, so they will have to count one of those, but they finished with a couple of scores over 9.9. Haley Bryant, Aaliyah Finnegan doing what they've done all season long. The big story, though, of the first rotation might be Florida on bars. Trinity Thomas, even with that injury, 9.95. What a performance from her. We are done with the Cal Bears, but we do have one more gymnast to go. Delaney Harkness from Michigan State. He's competing here as an individual. Watched her warm up floor. Has a beautiful opening full in. How tough is it to be here as an individual as opposed to with your team?
I'm sure it's a whole nother pressure to be here as an individual. I never had to experience that, but having a team behind you is just a different energy than being by yourself. You really have to generate that yourself, which is a challenge.
Delaney, a junior out of Leslie, Michigan. Twist Stars was her gymnastic club. She's a former junior Olympic national champion here, just competing on floor.
Wow. Great full in. Chest was up on that landing. Beautiful form in the air. That's exactly what you want to see.
Michigan State has really made a statement as a team the last couple of years in particular. Finished the regular season in 2022 at 12th in the country. This year almost made it here as a team, but ended up finishing 10th after the regular season in the rankings. Watch out for the Spartans. They are pushing the Big Ten, and they are pushing the rest of the country. Would not be shocked to see them here as a team next year.
Getting ready for this next tumbling pass. Front through to double tuck. A slight shuffle back. Great height, though.
Well done. Great choreography, too. Fun routine to watch. Great execution.
She did a really great job. Coming here as an individual, again, it is a challenge. And for her to generate her own energy, and Cal has been helping her. They are super enthusiastic to have her as well. Great routine from her.
And you love that. The teams that rotate with individuals always so supportive of those individual athletes and make it as fun as they want. Keep an eye on Delaney and the Spartans. She's only a junior, and you know she wants to be back here with her team next year, no doubt about it. MJ Frazier, a 9.9375. So that is a great finish for the Cal Bears. And this is what it looks like right now. Florida Gators out of the gate with a 49.4875. They have a narrow lead over the Cal Bears, 49.4375. And then after that, it is a virtual tie, but LSU next, 49.275, and Denver Pioneers with a 49.225. Next rotation, if you're an LSU Tiger fan, I'll see you right here on the Stream Team coverage. We'll be right back. Number 1 of the NCAA semifinals. It's been an incredible journey to this point. And we have seen some amazing gymnastics. We've got amazing commentators. Kennedy Baker to my left. We've got world champions. We've got national champions. It's amazing. Unbelievable. But here we go to the second rotation on the floor exercise, which, if you're hearing my voice, means you are following the LSU Tigers. And LSU came out strong on their first rotation, the balance beam. They currently sit in 3rd place, but it is way too early to start talking about who's going to advance and who is not. LSU Tigers have had an incredibly challenging season. A lot of injuries, most notably Kaya Johnson, one of their stars, one of their hammers, as they like to call them. injured the first week of the year, but they have rallied and they have been gritty. This is Sierra Ballard out of Mandeville, Louisiana, local kid. Beautiful double layout to start. Sierra's a high score of a 9.925 this season. Mom Lori competed for Canada in the 88 and 1992 Olympics, and Jay Clark, the head coach for LSU, is her uncle. A little short on that layout front at the end of that pass, but pretty savvy, smooth transition out. Great start. One in the books. Sierra Ballard's just been solid and consistent in that early rotation spot for LSU on floor all season long. She's been fantastic for them. And it has not been a smooth season for the LSU Tigers as far as staying healthy and avoiding obstacles and challenges, because they have had plenty of them, as I had mentioned. But this is a different team. You know, last year the LSU Tigers had 5 returnees coming back for their COVID year, graduate students coming for their 5th season, and had a huge amount of depth. But the one thing this team seems to have that others didn't was a grit and a determination. I was there the day Kaya Johnson tore her Achilles at Kentucky, and it was like you're watching it and you thought to yourself, oh, here we go again. Poor LSU. You know, they had a rough finish to the season last year, and you thought, man, this is going to be another rough one. But the athletes said, not so fast. And they worked and they grinded and they kept just going and going. And here they are at the national championships. What a season it has been for the LSU Tigers. Here we go with Ilona Shenikova. She is a senior out of Evergreen, Colorado. Her club was 5280, a gym club that has actually produced a male Olympian, Sasha Artemev, back in 2008, Olympic bronze medalist with the team. Ilona has a high score of a 9.975 this season. Sierra Ballard gets things started with a 9.8. Good start for the Tigers. Beautiful front double twist. Maybe a little quick on that step out. Half a tenth probably, maybe a tenth if you're really being critical. Perfect sequence there. Fantastic performance from Shenikova, an event she's worked so hard on. Hasn't always come easy for her on this event, but that looked like she is right where she wants to be at the end of the season. Executed is about as well as she can do it. I would not be surprised to see their scores jump from that 9.8 opening score from Ballard to a 9.9, maybe 9.9 plus for LSU. Quickly around the gym, the Denver Pioneers, they started strong on vault. They're now on the uneven bars. 2 gymnasts in there. The Florida Gators started on uneven bars. And they're over at balance beam. And they opened with a Sloan Blakely 9.9375 on beam, by the way. And that was after Sloan had a big error on the uneven bar, so what a way to bounce back for her. As we mentioned, here we are on floor with LSU. Cal Bears, they moved over to vault. They were here on floor exercise in the first rotation. They have all scores above 9.8, pushing those mid 9.8s. Their fourth score just in, Nevaeh D'Souza, 9.8625. So they are rolling. All these teams doing what we expected. This is going to be a close one, I expect, down the stretch. Ilona Shenikova's score is in, 9.8875. So it doesn't quite break that 9.9. Thought she would, but very close nonetheless. Chase Brock will be the next gymnast to go. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia. Gymnastics Training Center, Dave and Michelle Pomerantz, coaches down there, do an outstanding job. Chase has got a high of a 9.925 this season. Did not compete last year in 2022, but obviously playing an important role here in 2023. Fantastic double pike to open. Nails it. Just a hair short on that double tuck, a step forward out of that when you're rotating backwards on that landing. You do not want to step forward. That opens up the judges to take a whole 1/10 of a point. They're more apt to do that on a step forward on that double back than if she took a controlled step backwards. Oh, and you could see just a little short going into that last flipping skill. Oh, and that is devastating just because that was going to be a huge score. Really outstanding execution. That small step forward on the double tuck was the only thing up until the ending pass. And a couple words from head coach Jay Clark on the sidelines over there. Jay Clark in his 11th season overall at LSU. Became the head coach in August of 2021, taking over for legendary coach Dee Bro. So 3 gymnasts yet to go here for LSU on floor exercise. They do have a major break now from Chase Brock. Again, in women's gymnastics, 6 athletes go on the event. You count the 5 highest scores. That means you drop the low. And in this situation for LSU right now, they absolutely cannot afford another mistake. And I know there's a lot of gymnastics yet to go. We're not even halfway through this competition, but the feel in this arena and the vibe coming from these other teams is that if you count a fall, you are taking yourself out of it. So a lot of pressure now on these last 3 gymnasts for LSU. Cal Bears, they are done on vault. They are led by a high score from Maya Lazan of a 9.9. The lowest score for Cal on vault, a 9.825, so solid vault rotation for them. Florida Gators have got their 4th gymnast going on the balance beam, Leanne Wong, and they have had a solid start, already 2 scores over 9.9. Denver Pioneers on bars, Jessica Hutchinson, their 5th gymnast to go. They got 4 scores in. Getting ready for KJ Johnson. And KJ was also injured this season, and kind of a unusual injury, a post-meet, kind of a celebration injury. She turned to step off a mat, and as she did, somebody bumped into her and she rolled her ankle and had a small break in her foot. I say small break. Is there such thing as a small break? But she has come back and been a huge factor this season leading up to her injury, and now could be a huge factor here at the NCAA Championships. I'm joined by Kennedy Baker right now at a big moment, Kennedy, for the LSU Tigers.
Great full in from KJ, and it's so nice to have her back in these lineups. She was out with that injury, but she has come back strong and is powerful and igniting this team.
Kennedy Baker, member of the Florida Gators from 2015 to 2018, won a team title with them in 2015. Glad to have her over here. Finally, some brain power on the floor. I've been struggling out here. I needed you.
Happy to be back. Beautiful second pass there, 1.5 to front layout.
KJ has not done a lot of floor routines since that foot injury, so this is kind of a big pivotal moment, risky moment, because following that miss and having an athlete go up who is an incredible athlete but doesn't have the numbers you would expect leading into a national championship.
Great effort from KJ. It is so nice to see her back in these lineups. She's just such a fun athlete to watch.
And you see her walking off there and kind of favoring that foot, not even going to begin to guess what might be going on there, but that was a gutty routine and a routine they had to have in that moment, but certainly you wonder, should they advance to the finals, will KJ be able to go, and more importantly, will she be able to go later today when they get to the vault rotation? Next rotation, rather.
Yep.
Chase Brock, a 9.0 for her score after that fall. So again, so far, no damage done with that 9.0. KJ Johnson will definitely be above that, well above that. Aaliyah Finnegan, Haley Bryant, 2 stars for LSU, will anchor this floor rotation. Talk about, Kennedy, you in your career, you must have had to go up after a fall at some point. Talk about how there's already pressure, but when you know suddenly you have to hit, well, how does that pressure get ratcheted up?
It is a lot of pressure to go up after a fall in your lineup. It's just tough. I mean, gymnastics is already really challenging, so you want the best for your team, and to get out there and go after a fall, you just have to trust your training, really. Trust what you've been doing, trust that you know how to do the gymnastics, and all the effort that you've put in for season, it's ready to show in this moment.
So Aaliyah Finnegan knows how to do gymnastics as well. She is an unbelievable star for this LSU Tiger team. And I don't know if you guys can see it at home, but looked like she was comparing nails with Courtney McCool Griffith, 2004 Olympian and national champion, one of the coaches on the LSU staff. Just trying to lighten the mood, you think there, Kennedy?
Oh, absolutely. If you go in thinking that it's going to be pressure-filled and you know you're coming up after a fall, sometimes it makes it a little too intense. So if you can do anything to get that pressure off, like compare nails, hair, really anything, do it.
So Aaliyah Finnegan now follows KJ Johnson's 9.875. So great score, but they need a couple of 9.9 pluses here. And Aaliyah has the capability of doing that. She's already gotten a 10 this year, but she puts it on the line with big time difficulty like this.
Oh, stunning. So good. Saw her do that in the warm-up and stuck it just like that. If anyone can handle the pressure, it's definitely Aaliyah Finnegan.
Arabian double blind landing, so you're coming and you don't see the floor when your feet are actually landing on it. Incredible execution.
I used to do that, John, and let me tell you, you have to have great air awareness to get that stick because you can't see the landing. Like you said, it's blind. So you have to know exactly where you are in the air, and under pressure, it's even more challenging.
Second pass, equally good.
And beautiful job on her leap. She's just an all-around stunning performer. I mean, from the choreography through to her dance, leaps, and tumbling, you can't miss her routine.
Her sister Sarah, one of the most decorated LSU Tigers in history. She's following in her footsteps, but says she's making her own path, and what a path it is. What a moment for Aaliyah Finnegan. Battled injuries last year, coming back from injuries, only did 2 events through most of the season, but has been a star all around her, and that, probably not going to be a 10, Kennedy, but hard to find a deduction at the same time.
That was a beautiful routine. Honestly, this LSU team is so impressive. They've had so much adversity this season, and to go out there and keep climbing and keep competing the way they are, the way Aaliyah Finnegan just competed, it's so fun to watch.
So we have one more gymnast here to go, and it is a must-see routine. Haley Bryant will be that gymnast. Florida is finishing up with Peyton Richards. She is on the beam right now. She follows Riley McCuster's 9.6125. So an early pressure moment here in the first half of this competition for Florida. They have to get a hit there. Denver is done on the uneven bars. Solid across the board, counting all 9 8s or above. Kylie Rorich a 9.9125. And as we mentioned, the Cal Bears done on vault as well. So let's get focused here on floor exercise. Another gymnast, Haley Bryant, 6th in the country right after the regular season on this event. Also has scored a 10. She's got plenty of 10s this season, but she is one of those athletes certainly in contention to win the all-around title here at the NCAA championships. But if you had to pick a handful of gymnasts that, hey, you can only watch one, she's on the short list, right?
Absolutely. Haley Bryant flies when she does gymnastics. It is like watching somebody tumble or vault or just do it out of this world. It is such an experience and such a treat to get to see her go on these events.
And like Aaliyah Finnegan, she does a very difficult opening pass, blind landing. It's a double front coming right here.
Stunning, stuck, beautiful.
Come on.
That was pretty perfect. I don't see any deduction on that first pass at all.
Aaliyah Finnegan got a 9.9625, the highest score on floor exercise so far. And Haley Bryant saying, hang on, watch me beat it.
She just soars when she does gymnastics.
She reminds me of those athletes I hated when I was a gymnast. They make it look so easy. I'm like, it's not that easy. She makes it look easy, and that's what great athletes do, and that is exactly what Haley Bryant is doing right here.
Switch string to switch half. Great control on her leaps. Wow.
I don't know, again, that it'll be a 10, but I know that that cannot be performed better than what she just did.
I have no notes. That was excellent. This pass, unreal. The amplitude, her chest up on the landing. Again, great control out of that pass. Just so fun to watch.
LSU Tiger Nation here in Fort Worth is lit. Is that what they say? Do the young kids still say lit?
Yes,
is
we
it
say
cool
lit,
to say that?
but you have to capitalize the L now.
Okay, lit.
Yes.
Haley Bryant, that athlete that Jay Clark said when all the injuries started happening, she would not let the ship go down, exactly what he said. She brought calmness, and she brought an example for her teammates and said, not so fast, we are not going anywhere. We are going to work. And they have followed their mantra, we climb. It came up in a retreat before the season started. The athletes came up with it, and they have climbed. And it was low for a while. They were down and they were out, but they have climbed and they have gotten here through a tie with the Michigan Wolverines at the regionals, and they won the tiebreaker. And now they are pushing the other three teams here in this semifinal of the NCAAs to make it to the team finals. Wow, what a performance. 9.95 for Haley Bryant. I'd love to have a meeting with the judges on that one and ask where that half tenth came from. I mean, it might be in there, but I certainly didn't see it. All right, we are not done. The individual competing with LSU in this rotation. She is competing here as an all-arounder. This is Chloe Widner from Stanford. She is a senior from Frisco, Texas. Went to Texas Dreams.
Fun fact, Chloe and I used to train together, so to see her go from being the 10-year-old gymnast to the NCAA all-star she is now, I mean, it's incredible, it's unreal.
Big double layout.
Just a slight hop forward, a little under-rotated, but very dynamic, great height.
Keep in mind the winners of each event and the top all-around score from Session 1 and Session 2 total combined will be your NCAA individual champions in those disciplines. So the 4 events and the all-around will be chosen today out of both sessions, and that is what Chloe Widner is competing for.
Ooh, just a little too much rotation. Her feet were a little too far in front of her on that back handspring, which had her shoulders back, and why she had to take that fall afterwards. Chloe has really nice lines. She's always had really great lines. Great extension, toe point. Leaps are stunning over that 180.
Well done. Stanford had a good season, finished in the top 20 as a team. Chloe here representing them in the all-around competition. What a competition it's been here in Fort Worth so far. Halfway through, it is the Cal Bears, the 98.7875. The decimal points are just killing me. Okay, can't we just round up? 98.7875. They are the high score, but I will tell you what, it is razor thin. LSU right behind them with a 98.75. Florida, they dropped to 4th after some difficult beam scores, 98.575 for them. And the Denver Pioneers, 98.5875. Again, really the number you're watching is the difference between 2nd place team and the 3rd place team, because it doesn't matter if you win. You just want to survive and advance. Still waiting for Chloe Widner's score here on floor exercise. In the next rotation here on floor is going to be the Florida Gators, and they will be looking to bounce back from a bit of a troublesome beam rotation where they did have to count a 9.6125. So they had some huge numbers there, but unfortunately they still had some low ones and they had to count one of them. Denver Pioneers go to balance beam. Cal Bears go to the uneven bars. Cal has to end now on bars and beam, and it's a tough way, I feel like, to finish a competition, especially finishing on balance beam. My motto is the meet hasn't started until you get to beam. I don't know how you feel about that, Kennedy.
I agree with you, and it's hard to end on beam too because you have so much energy from this championships, just being out there ready to compete. You've waited all season for it, and then you're waiting for the final moment, which is beam, and it's last. So it is a challenge to try and balance your energy, and they're really going to have to calm their nerves, especially for bars and beam.
LSU, by the way, they are going to vault, and I'm not trying to sell another event on you, but Haley Bryant's going to vault, and that's going to be a good one. Kennedy, you're going to be front row and watching that one.
I can't wait.
That's going to wrap it up here. Chloe Widner, by the way, 8.7875, so disappointing there on that fall, but a couple more events for her here at the NCAA Championships, and 2 more for us on floor exercise. We'll be right back for rotation 3. Rotation of this semifinal number 1 at the Women's NCAA Championships. I am John Roethlisberger, and you are watching the floor stream. We are calling ourselves the Stream Team. Ashley Miles-Grigg, Bridget Sloan, and Kennedy Baker are the 4 analysts. Each of us have our own event, and thank you for joining me on floor exercise. And it has been an outstanding competition so far. After 4 rotations, the Cal Bears, they had the highest score coming out of the regionals. They are in the top spot. LSU behind them. Denver in 3rd. And the Florida Gators, they're the number 2 ranked team in the country. At the end of the regular season, one of the favorites to win the national title. Unfortunately, Trinity Thomas has an injury, and they find themselves with a battle ahead of them. But it is razor thin close between 1st and 4th place. It's less than 2/10. So a lot of gymnastics to go, certainly not over. And the Florida Gators, they come to the floor exercise, and they need to put on a performance here. They had a tough beam rotation in the last rotation. They had to count a score in the 9.6s. Victoria Nguyen will start things off for the Gators. She's out of Houston, Texas. Went to Chow's Gymnastics. Talking to Jeremy Miranda, the choreographer for the Florida Gators, talking about her floor routine and how elegant it is. Doesn't necessarily fit the model of a lot of college routines, but he calls it refreshing and says she is exquisite to watch in this event. Absolutely beautiful routine. Jeremy did not sell us a bill of goods on that one. That was outstanding, beautiful to watch. Definitely a different feel than a lot of the routines that you will see here today, but outstanding in her own right. Victoria Nguyen Jr. on this team, and again, Florida trying to work their way back into the top 2. I kind of misspoke a little bit. I said the first to the 4th place team are less than 2/10. Actually, Florida is less than 2/10 out of 2nd. Winning the meet, not that critical. Being in the top 2, that means everything, and that is where Florida will need to try to get themselves, but it will not be easy. Talking to the coaches before this competition, really from every team, they kind of reminded themselves, you know, yeah, we want to come and we want to win a national title, but you also have to be happier here because there is some national title contending teams that aren't. And that is how close the field has become in women's gymnastics. The quality of gymnastics has risen across the country, and there are a lot of contending teams and outstanding athletes. One of which, Sloane Blakely, follows Victoria's 9.9. What a start score for the Gators, exactly what they needed. So right next to me is Kennedy Baker, former Florida Gator gymnast. And Sloane Blakely looked up to Kennedy to the point that she told the choreographer at Florida, I want to do a routine that reminds me of Kennedy Baker, something that's fun and funky, and I can play to the crowd. Finishes with the big double pike, slight hop forward. If you were here last rotation, you heard us talk about don't step or hop forward on backward flipping skills. Unfortunately, that was a hop forward. Probably be a 10th, but what a fun routine. Just the second gymnast to go here for Florida on floor exercise. Sloane started rough on the uneven bars, but came back real strong on the balance beam in the second rotation for Florida. Put up a 9.9375 there, their highest score on that event. Amazing lead off. Trying to build on the 9.9 that the Gators started with. LSU Tigers, they are on vault. Cal Bears, the top team after 2 rotations, they are on the uneven bars. The Denver Pioneers, they are on balance beam, and I will tell you, Lindsey Brown, one of the favorites in all of college gymnastics, she started things off there for the Pioneers with a 9.9125. I said don't sleep on the Denver Pioneers when I was at the Big 12 Championships covering them there, and you cannot still sleep on them. Underdogs, I guess, if you want to say, underdogs to make it to the team finals here, but don't tell them that. Rachel Bauman now the next gymnast to go. For the Gators, she is a grad student in her 5th year. She's out of Plano, Texas. Competed for WOGA, World Olympic Gymnastics Academy, the club that produced numerous outstanding gymnasts, most notably Olympic all-around champions Carly Patterson and Nasty Lukin. Beautiful double wolf turn right at the beginning. You see that skill quite a bit, but rarely better performed than Rachel did right there. little short on that double pike hop forward. But other than that, well done. Sloane Blakely right before her, a 9.85. Rachel also competed for the Georgia Bulldogs, transferred to Florida after last season to take her 5th year, her COVID year here in Gainesville. Talking to Jenny Rowland in her 8th season at Florida, leading up to this competition, talked a lot about no regrets. Coming through this season, being true to yourself, doing the work, and then just trusting the process and not having any regrets. You do what you do. You go out and you perform at the highest level you possibly can, and you don't look back. And I think that has been something that has been a big part of their program this season. And certainly with Trinity Thomas coming back for her 5th year, that was her mantra as well. No regrets. I want to come back. I want one more shot at the national title as a team. And I will not have any regrets when it's all said and done. So quickly around the gym, we're seeing a few mistakes. Bella Mabanta for Denver in the 2nd spot, 8.9, 8.75. LSU on vault, all scores in the 9.8, so good there. But they're going to feel like they let a couple tenths get away. Haley Bryant, a 9.8625 for her, and that is a vault that arguably the best vault in all of the nation, so she gave away some points there. Cal Bears on bars. Gabby Perea in the 3rd spot in 8.9875. So a couple of mistakes from teams in front of the Florida Gators. Could it be an opportunity for them right now as we see Peyton Richards take the floor? And I am joined by a Florida Gator. It's Kennedy Baker on the team from 2015 to 18, was a member of the 2015 national title team. Kennedy, big moment here for Florida. Some mistakes from other teams around the gym trying to move up from that 4th spot.
Great double layout from Peyton. If it's anything about Florida on floor, they know how to have fun, speaking from experience. And Peyton does it really well.
I assume you had the Gator Chomp in your routine.
I did have a chomp in my
Was it
routine.
at the end, beginning? Where did you incorporate the chomp? I'm just curious.
Mine was at the end, but that was only my senior year. The other years, I think it was in the middle.
We're going to break down the philosophy of where to put your Gator Chomp in your routine. That'll be in the post-game show.
That's super important, by the way. One and a half front full, great control out of it.
We got a little Dr. Dre mashup. Her family's big Dr. Dre fans, and even Dad and brother wanted to get in on that recommendation. Peyton Richards, such an important piece of the puzzle for the Gators, especially with that Trinity Thomas injury. Stepped in for her on a couple events, and man, she delivered right there.
Peyton really stepped up. They needed Peyton in that spot, and she went and delivered.
Rachel Bauman, 9.8375. That's the lowest score of the first 3 gymnasts for Florida here on the floor exercise rotation. Peyton, I would suspect, will go above that. Leanne Wong and Kayla DiCello, 2-star underclassmen. How about that, by the way? The last 2 spots for Florida in the rotation, you're thinking upperclassmen, you're thinking veterans. They got a freshman and a sophomore, and they are 2 of the best gymnasts in all the country.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
It's incredible that they are still underclassmen, because you would think that they're 5th-year seniors the way that they compete. I think that their elite experience has just prepared them in ways that they can just handle this pressure so gracefully, and they've done that.
Well, Leanne and Kayla both have world all-around medals. Morgan Hurd, who is not competing here on floor exercise, has a world gold all-around medal. I told Jenny Rowland before the meet, I go, you know, Florida's got more world all-around medals than most countries in the world have. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It is a team full of stars, and this is one of them, Leanne Wong. And it's ironic because she chose the song Sky Full of Stars for her music, and part of it is related to the fact that this team is full of stars, yet they've come together as one. No egos on that Florida team.
Double pike Arabian to stag jump.
ridiculously hard pass.
Super hard. I've done it. I can tell you it's tough. She did it super well. It's a blind landing. Huge height in the air. And Leanne has a ton of skills in her repertoire. She can also do a triple full, but you know, she's just doing the double pike Arabian because she can.
Must be nice to have that repertoire in your back pocket.
Must be nice.
Peyton Richards ties a career high 9.925, so 2 scores at 9.9 or above for the Gators, and they look like they might get a couple more here with Leanne Wong and Kayla DiCello to finish out.
Leanne is just stunning in her tumbling, but also in her dance. All of her movements are so fluid, and it's so fun to watch. Half to front full, beautiful. And with the chomp.
I mean, you were with me in the last rotation when we said, I don't know if they're going to get a 10, but I don't know where the deduction would be. That fits that bill again. I mean, these routines, they have brought their best at the most important time.
Now's the time. I wouldn't want to be a judge out there. Personally, they have a hard job of trying to find the tenths, but you'd rather them want to search for the tenths than you give them away. So they're in a good spot.
Peyton Richards a 9.925. The one thing I will say is it's got to go up from there, and I'm not going to call for a 10-0, but certainly I would guess it's going to be in that 9.95 range. Kayla DiCello will be the last gymnast to go, and just to give you an update around the gym, we do have another fall now from the Cal Bears. So the first missed routine that a team is going to have to count. I said in the first rotation, if you count a fall in this meet, you're almost doomed to not advance, and certainly they will not have that attitude going into their final rotation, but that is an unfortunate situation for the Cal Bears. 9.9625. Finally, I'm right about something, Kennedy. I told you it was going to be around a 9.95. Outstanding job for Leanne Wong, and now Kayla DiCello, just a freshman.
Kayla's so impressive. SEC Freshman of the Year. Looking so seasoned, like she's been here a million times.
13th in the country after the regular season in the all-around. Not ranked on the floor exercise, ironically enough, but I tell you what, she can tumble with anybody.
She opens with a front handspring, double twist. Just a little under-rotated. Excellent job on her leap, switch ring to switch half, well done. Every year I get so excited to see Florida on floor and see the choreography that Jeremy Miranda comes up with, because it's always dynamic, always super exciting and fun. 1.5 front layout stuck.
Florida Gators are not going anywhere so fast, people. They have come back with a vengeance. After a disappointing balance beam rotation here on floor exercise, they have put the pedal down and they have made a statement. A veteran statement from a couple of underclassmen, Kayla DiCello and Leanne Wong, to finish that out.
They are not giving up. They're fighting for all of these landings, all of these tenths, trying to get to that second day.
I talked to Kayla about what's your plans as far as competing elite. You know, she had a great summer last summer, could have made the world team, but she came to Florida, started her collegiate career, and she kind of didn't really give me an answer, but as I understand it, over there in her club with Kelly Hill, Hill's Gymnastics, there's a bat phone of sorts that only Kelly gets to answer, and it comes from Kayla if she should decide to go back to elite. So we'll see. I mean, as a fan of her as a gymnast, I would love to see it, but totally understand that it's not as easy for her to do it as it is for us to wish it into existence, right?
Absolutely. I hope we see that bat symbol in the air, though.
Keep your eyes out. You never know. Peyton Harris will be the last gymnast to go here on floor exercise. She is from Ohio State. She is competing in the all-around. She's done all-around every meet this season. She is just a freshman and set the all-around record at the regional finals.
And to do all-around every meet is incredibly impressive because the season is so long, so tough on your body. To do it weekend after weekend, kudos to her. With the Stranger Things music already drawing the crowd in. Double pike, lots of power, step back there, but good control.
Peyton's from Franklin, Wisconsin, competed for M&M Gymnastics, was her club as a junior, and that M is for Memel. Chelsea Memel, former world all-around champion and Olympian, owner of that gym, one of the owners along with her father.
Beautiful front handspring double twist that she did right there. Last tumbling pass right here. Full front layout, stuck, feet together. I love a perfect stick.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. It's so satisfying.
It's like a toothpick in a club sandwich, Kennedy. Boom. I'll let you use that one.
Okay.
I got copyright though, so don't get too carried away. That'll do it for the floor rotation. I'll tell you what, we had some movement in the standings after that third rotation. Florida was in 4th place, and they have jumped up to the #1 spot. Right behind them are the LSU Tigers. And then it's actually a bit of a drop-off to the Cal Bears, over half a point now. Separates 2nd and 3rd. Denver is down behind them, over 0.8 of a point behind 2nd. So Cal Bears and the Denver Pioneers, they've got some serious work to do if they want to get back into the top 2. Right now, after 3, it's the Florida Gators and the LSU Tigers as we get ready for the 4th and final rotation.
Once again, we're on our last rotation of this meet, so we have our countdown to 0 from our friends at Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. So you guys, if you do the honors, win that chocolate, we're going to all count.
Welcome back to Dickies Arena for the 4th and final rotation of session 1 of the NCAA semifinals. It has been a circus, as we like to say. It's been intense. Pause. Make sure you got that. It has been an incredible competition so far. Right now, as we stand, Florida is on the top. 1/10 behind them are the LSU Tigers, but winning this session is not the most important thing. It's who is going to be in the top 2. And it was razor thin coming into that third rotation, but now it has been stretched out. Cal and Denver both counted falls in that last rotation. It drops off to over 5/10 between 2nd and 3rd, between LSU and Cal. And then Denver is over 0.8 behind the 2nd place team. So those 2 teams have got some work to do. Might need some help from one of the top 2 teams, the Florida Gators or the LSU Tigers, meaning they might have to get them to make some mistakes if they're going to move. So in this fourth and final rotation, we're going to be covering the Denver Pioneers here on the floor exercise for the floor stream. Again, across all 4 events. Kennedy Baker's on the vault. Ashley Miles-Grieg, she is on balance beam. And Bridget Sloan, she is down there on the uneven bars, giving you all the coverage, start to finish. Having a good time up here with the stream team. We mentioned Denver and Cal counting falls in that last rotation. Here's the interesting thing. If they had not counted the falls, if they had gotten one more hit out of those 2 mistakes that they had, this meet would be a virtual 4-way tie right now with 2 teams advancing. So here we go on floor exercise. Alexandria Ruiz will start things off for Denver. She is a 5th-year student out of Lake Murray, Florida, Ace Gymnastics. Denver really has got to knock this out of the park and then hope that they can get some help. Maybe a couple of rough routines from one of the top 2 teams, LSU or Florida. Well done. Alex had trouble at the regionals, had a bit of an ankle injury that's been limiting her, actually watered down her routine in the middle of her routine at the regionals. Obviously, it didn't matter. The Denver Pioneers made it here to the national championships, but been nursing that and didn't look like it. Comes out strong in the leadoff spot. Leanne Wong for Florida led off with a 9.8625. Feels like LSU and Florida, they just need to get 5 of their 6 to be decent scores on this last rotation, and they are going to be on to the finals. Florida on vault, LSU on bars, Cal Bears, they are on balance beam. And I'm going to correct myself because that was Momoko Iwai on that floor routine. I apologize to all the Denver Pioneer fans out there. We had a lineup change that I did not catch originally, but there you go. We're going to correct that. She gets a 9.85. Actually looks like, I mentioned that Alex Ruiz injury to her ankle. They're going to go with 5 athletes on this floor rotation. At least that's what they have in front of me right now. So I apologize for that lineup error. So it's going to be 5 up, 5 count in a critical spot for Denver. This is Abby Thompson, junior out of Sanford, Florida, Orlando Metro Gymnastics. Got to go big, no holding back at this point. Big triple twist open. Well done, Abby Thompson. Qualified to the NCAA championships last year as an individual, competed on the balance beam. Here this year with her team, trying to make some magic here in the last rotation, trying to get Denver on to the finals on Saturday. As we mentioned, the Florida Gators on vault. They are 4 vaults in, and they have 4 hit vaults. 1 more of their last 2, and they certainly look like they will be on to the finals. LSU, they aren't even bars. They started off with a 9.775, so not a great start score. The Cal Bears on balance beam started off with a 9.85. Can they make some magic? They were in the 3rd spot, trying to move up, trying to catch the LSU Tigers. Next gymnast here on floor exercise will be Rosie Casali. Talking to Melissa Kuchar-Reinhardt about this team. She's in her 25th season as the head coach of the Denver team. Her 4th in 2019, but so proud of this team, and they just don't have quit in them. The regionals, they didn't start off great, but they kept building. They built momentum until it was enough at the end in a very close competition to get here to the NCAA semifinals, and they were looking for some of that resiliency right now here on floor exercise. This is Rosie Casali following a 9.825 from Abby Thompson. Beautiful leap sequence right there. Nice double, 2.5 rather, to punch front, step backwards out of that punch front, which will likely be a deduction. Rosie Casali, the junior from Weddington, North Carolina. Stephen Hood, the coach there on the right, giving her a hug as she comes off the floor. Stephen Hood in his first season with Denver. I talked to him right before the competition. He talked to me about when he used to coach at Texas Women's. He volunteered here at the NCAA Championships in Fort Worth, and he said, I remember being here and watching the teams come off the bus as they arrived at the arena, and he said it gave him goosebumps. He's like, wow, the best teams in the country right here, and now he's getting off the bus to go to the national championships. Pretty cool to see his rise. Certainly an outstanding collegiate coach. Got a lot of years, great years ahead of him. So waiting for that 3rd score. Jessica Hutchinson, Lindsey Brown yet to go for Denver. Florida Gators got a 9.9 from Trinity Thomas, by the way. Gutty performance, injured at the regional championships, only doing 2 events here, and they were big events for Florida. Well done for her. Looks like Florida is going to be in. Now it's going to come down to what LSU, Cal, and Denver do. LSU is on bars, and they look good. Aaliyah Finnegan just crushed a bar routine, and they have a 9.775, a 9.875, and a 9.875 right before her. So LSU, with only 2 yet to go, they need one of those 2 gymnasts to hit, and it looks like they are in. Here we go with Jessica Hutchinson on floor. The story all season about her is that she has choreographed her floor routine after her mom's routine. Her mom competed in the Olympic Games in 1992 for Bulgaria. And I'm joined now by Kennedy Baker. Kennedy, we're into our 4th gymnast here, Jessica Hutchinson on floor exercise. Denver trying to chase down the top 2 teams, but got a lot of work to do ahead of them. For those that don't know, Kennedy, a member of the Florida Gators gymnastics team that won a national title in 2015.
I love Jessica Hutchinson on floor. She is so talented. Her attention to detail, it's incredible. Beautiful 1.5 front layout there. Well executed pass, front Rudy, 1.5 twist through to a straddle jump. And an attitude turn, just a little something extra.
Well done. Denver is performing on floor, but it likely is a little bit too late. After that disappointing last rotation for them, Jessica Hutchinson, one more gymnast to go. That'll be Lindsey Brown. Rosie Casali right before her, a 9.7875. Keep in mind they do not have a score to drop here. Only 5 gymnasts competing for Denver. Florida Gators are done. They finished with a 9.8625 with their final athlete. All of their scores above a 9.8. That will be enough for your alma mater, Kennedy, to get into the finals. Here on floor exercise, one of the greatest ever. Legendary gymnast. The greatest Denver gymnast in history, Lindsey Brown, will be performing what looks to be her last collegiate gymnastics performance, and her journey has been well chronicled. 2 Achilles injuries, lost her mom during her collegiate career as well, has just overcome so many physical and emotional obstacles, and what an amazing human. I got a chance to talk with her for the first time this week, and man, she's something special.
She really is, and this is such a treat for all of us to get to watch this floor performance from her. I have a feeling it's going to be a lights out performance. I can't wait to see what she does.
A lot of people, after one Achilles injury, would certainly contemplate their future. She had 2. And after 2, you'd think, well, maybe she'll be a role player, maybe she'll just do a couple of events, but not Lindsey Brown. She is doing some of her best gymnastics of her career. And right here, this is her farewell routine.
Sky-high double layout. Lindsey just looks like she's having the best time out there. So fun for everybody to watch. One and a half step out through to 1.5 front tuck. Incredibly difficult tumbling pass. Well done.
One of the best ever. Lindsey Brown, she has won an individual NCAA title on floor exercise, and if you're trying to keep track at home, a 9.625 is currently the high score on this event. What a way it would be to go out with one more title, but I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters to her, although she'd probably enjoy it, but this is a whole lot more than just a score and a gymnastics routine for Lindsey Brown. What a role model, Melissa Kuchar-Reinhardt. When you start to talk about Lindsey Brown, she starts off with having a hard time figuring out what to say, kind of like I just did right there. She's at a loss for words. There's not enough of them to describe what an incredible human being she has been, and how important she has been to this team. We are not quite done here on floor exercise. Alexis Edwards from Ohio State competing. She is a senior. This is her one event here at these NCAA championships, qualified as an individual here. She will not be coming back for a 5th year. It was an option for her, but she is ready to move on and has some opportunities waiting for her. And she's also had some injuries that she's thankful to have had the 4 years she's had at Ohio State. So this is her farewell routine as well.
Wow. Stunning double pike. She opened up out of that. That might be one of the best double pikes I've ever seen in my life. That was, woo.
I'm just going to say it was the best double pike.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could stand on underneath that, and you could probably sit on my shoulders and still would go over it. Wow.
Great control on that pass as well. 1.5 to front layout. Showed that she got that stuck before she went into the lunge. Last pass here, double tuck. Again, opened out of the double tuck. She is just flying high. Great routine for Alexis, wow.
I don't think she could ask for a whole lot more for her last collegiate routine.
No notes.
Rocket fuel. That's all I can think of is she had some rocket fuel on those takeoffs. That was unbelievable. What a way to finish this first session. Lindsey Brown, by the way, a 9.95. So back-to-back 9.95s for Denver from Jessica Hutchinson, Lindsey Brown. So it will not be an individual championship there for her. But as I look back at the individual event standings, Lindsey Brown right now, 9.925 on vault is the top score. So she, at the very least, has a share of that title so far. One more session yet to go. Trinity Thomas, the top score on the uneven bars, 9.95. Chloe Widner from Stanford, 9.95 on balance beam. Leanne Wong, 9.9625. There may be some ties in there. Haley Bryant, highest score in the all-around so far, 39.6875. So your teams that qualify out of this session: LSU Tigers, Florida Gators. Denver finishes in 3rd. The Cal Bears finish in 4th. What a semifinal number 1 it has been. We're going to be back here tonight, 8 p.m. for semifinal number 2. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks, Kennedy.
Thanks for having me.